All right, hi class. How's it going? Welcome to session 12. I guess before I get into the nitty gritty here, first of all, I just want to say that I went through and reviewed all of your co-taught lessons that you submitted. For the most part, they were great. Some of you do need to identify at least which model of co-teaching you are anticipating on using throughout your lesson. And you should be specific that that lesson is written for you and whoever your co-teacher is. So within the lesson, it should whatever you're doing or saying, it should explicitly state like who's doing what. And if one person is leading an activity, what's the other person doing? Okay, so just make sure that that is clear within your lessons. You'll notice that I did not give anybody a grade for the lesson yet, because I'm not going to give you your grade until after you complete the lesson demonstration with your partner. And then there will be a reflection piece afterwards that everyone completes, that you'll think about like your contributions to the lesson and how you work together collaboratively. One thing you might learn throughout this is that co-teaching isn't always easy. It takes work, and you have to actually be able to communicate with people. So there's that. All right, if you have any questions about your co-taught lessons or want an explanation on anything, just shoot me an email, okay? All right, let's talk about session 12. So the focus for this week is on cross-curricular connections. You're going to be creating an integrated lesson plan for this week. I'm going to share my screen with you. Hold on one second. Okay, so you should be able to see I am in session 12 here. The real focus is on cross-curricular connections. I included a little something in there on personalization for fun. So the first link that's there really is just going to kind of give you an overview of the importance of making cross-curricular connections. And I guess what I'll just say here is that, you know, think about from your student's perspective, or even think about how you learned, right? In the classroom, you maybe were learning like about the content related stuff. You were learning like one topic in history class, something completely different in science. Math had no application to what you were learning in other areas, you know, and so on and so on and so on. If you think about students who struggle, especially with processing, having so much different content to learn all at once can be really confusing and challenging for some students. So we can actually increase the depth of knowledge for our students when we make cross-curricular connections. Things make more sense if, all right, well, if I take the concept that I just learned about math and apply it to what I'm learning about in science, right? And vice versa. Or if I'm learning about something in language arts class, I'm applying it to something that I'm doing project work in history. So that's kind of what this week is all about here. And what you'll notice is in the first section on integrated units, this might be new for some of you. So I gave you some examples. There is like a little link here for a rundown on how to create integrated units, how to think about that. One thing I suggest doing, so for your integrated lesson this week, you need to connect 3 content areas, basically. You need to connect like 3 different standards. One of them has to be a math standard, but you need to incorporate 2 other standards from other content areas into your lesson. So I think I gave you the example in class that you could, I could do something on where I introduce the lesson with an article or reading a book or something that's like on exercise or health or something. And then I had them do jumping jacks where they actually collected data and tracked their heart rate, and then they turned it into graphs. So we had like an ELA connection, a health connection, as well as a math connection throughout just that one lesson. So that's just an example of kind of what I'm going to be looking for. So anyway, there's a link that gives you a rundown on how to create integrated units. And then there are a few examples here. I tried to go through the different grade levels to kind of give you an idea of different ways that integrated units can be written or showcased. And then as an added bonus here, some of you are having a little trouble with writing essential questions. So there's a little video about, what is an essential question? How do you write one? Same thing with big ideas. Big ideas aren't usually, they're very general. Big ideas are very general. And that it's like that big idea, it wouldn't matter what grade level you're in, that big idea would still apply. So if you haven't gotten that down yet, I really do suggest that you check out on PDE's site, click on curriculum frameworks, and then you'll see within the curriculum frameworks, they give you examples or suggestions for big ideas. All right, next. So this little section here that's on resources for content-related articles. So like I said in my first example for creating an integrated unit, like ELA is super easy to connect to almost any content area. You know, if you incorporate reading or responding to a text or, you know, writing prompts, that's about the content that's being covered within the class where you're hitting ELA standards. So these are 3 resources that are great for incorporating ELA standards and that are related to other content. So ReadWorks and NewsELA, also called Newsella, those are great resources because you can go to those and look up content related articles, and they are leveled. You can actually find articles on there that have the same content but are written at different levels. So if you have a class that's inclusive, in an inclusive learning environment there, you can differentiate for students by using those resources. Get Epic, same sort of thing. It's got books on there that you could read that are content related, as well as video resources. So anyway, I put those there in case you wanted to include them in your integrated unit or lesson. You're not doing a unit, just a lesson. All right, and then last here, this is more for fun than anything else, but personalized learning or individualization is definitely a hot topic in the field of education right now. Meeting students' individual needs, trying to incorporate student voice and choice. You know, not all kids need to be doing the same exact thing within the classroom. So those are some links there, some resources for you to check out on, like, how do you make that happen? Okay. All right, and then we have your discussion and assignments for this week. So the discussion is on cross-curricular connections. Okay, so you should definitely refer to some of the things that I have at the top there. And then you are submitting a written integrated lesson. As I said before, you should follow the same lesson template for this integrated lesson. And the only difference will be that you will have 3 standards listed, and you might have 3 big ideas and 3 essential questions that support each one of those standards. Some of them might, like your overarching theme, you might have a couple connections there, so you might only end up having like 2, but it kind of depends on how you approach that. But either way, your big ideas, essential questions, and standards should all be related to each other, okay? And then the rest of your lesson plan should really be written like you've been writing it, but I should be able to clearly see that you've incorporated those standards, you know, somehow, okay? And then finally, I posted your standards quiz here. Sorry for anybody that was confused. I hadn't updated it because technically session 12 starts on Monday. But I switched it up and just made it an easy Google link there for you. It should be pretty easy peasy if you've been paying attention at all in class. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I hope this week is not too stressful for you and that you're able to have a little relaxed time with your family and friends. Safe travels. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all of you guys, and I look forward to seeing you on December 2nd. And actually, real quick before I go, last thing I wanted to say, I did post in an announcement that on the next time that we meet, December 2nd, that's session 13, first of all, at 7 o'clock, there is a student teaching meeting. So if you're interested in learning more about the student teaching process, or you're getting ready to student teach, you are welcome to go to that. It starts at 7 o'clock. They said that it'll probably run for between like 30 and 45 minutes, which is fine. If you are doing a lesson demonstration, we'll wait for you, and we'll probably start lesson demonstrations around 8 o'clock or as soon as everybody gets back to the classroom, okay? If you're scheduled to do lesson demonstration with your co-teacher, you should still be ready to do that. Okay? All right. I think that's it for now, and I will see you next week. Thanks for being flexible.